Well, I thought I would try to do a little, getting in the weeds a little bit about maybe my own Alexander practice. Uh, I think I'm very concerned, that this won't make any sense, or you need an Alexander teacher to kind of show you. Maybe some, you can look on the internet, there's tons of great teachers giving lessons, you can kind of get a hang of it, but you just need the hands-on. Or there are some people very skilled in doing this without hands-on. Might become one of those one day, but I'm a little skeptical. I just think you need a teacher, and then you get the experience, you know exactly what we're talking about. Then everything you do from then on, you can do it on your own, or you can do it online. You might just not quite click. That's a fear in Alexander teacher training, that people will miss out on this because somebody's not that skillful in the very beginning, but not that many bad Alexander teachers, probably, but especially at the very beginning, whatever, there's plenty of less than ideal Alexander teachers, and you're dependent on them in that case. The problem with those people, they do all the work for you, and you really haven't learned the inner, how you did it yourself. Oh, I did it myself, I can do it again, Anyway, so, I took a lot of Alexander lessons, and I was doing Tai Chi like a maniac, and it all just kind of clicked for me, but it took me years before I really started practicing on my own all the time. But I did, you do, but it took me a while to get the subtlety that every little movement that you're taught by your Alexander teacher, you can do on your own, and you can do on your own for hundreds and hundreds of hours, or just endless. You don't really necessarily appreciate that point, but it took me a long time before I had that view. But anyway, so if the Buddha were to come here today and teach you to meditate, these are going to be some of the words he would use. These are the words my teacher used, and his teacher before him, and before him back to the Buddha. So these was straight from the horse's mouth. There's a lot of, a certain number of instructions about posture, and this is part of it. You have what is called a silver mu cord, M-U, that connects you with heaven, that wants to line you up in this certain way that is, Alexander is the key. Alexander says this is the key to the whole thing is this. It's a letting go, it's a thought-directed. You think it and your body does it. You tell yourself, my neck releases to let my whole head go up and forward. Tiniest little bit, but it makes all the difference. We talk about uplifted, we talk about spiritual. Spiritual means your matter is doing its natural thing to turn into spirit. And we also have spirit going into matter. We have both those things going on, but we're kind of working with, connecting with spirituality here. The Tibetans talk about drala. La means heavenly, or heaven, or the heavenly part of yourself, your head and shoulders, considered your hla. All the spiritual help that is available in the whole universe is right up there, and it's your hla. It's also hla, so it's your hla, and the hla of the world want to connect. And the other possibility is to go down. Alexander talks about it in terms of two extremes or two modes, and we want to find the middle way. Alexander wants to find this middle way between collapsed, slumped, the Tibetans call it tudra, or animal-like. Being like animals have this kind of posture. They don't have an upright human posture like a warrior. And the other extreme is called habitually erect. Yes, you are erect. Yes, you look like a human being, but you're frozen. To get that posture, you have frozen yourself. You know, and the best way to learn this middle way is, in Alexander, over and over again, we say, okay, go into a slump. Yeah, you're in a slump. Now get out of that slump. But we learn how to do it in an Alexander way, not in a habitually erect way. And then on the other side, we say, okay, now you're habitually erect. It's not quite as easy. That is a very easy thing to do, and you gain great benefit from it. This one's a little trickier, but everything else is, okay, you're in your habitually erect posture. Now, let's find a little freedom. Let's just find a little bit of a thought of freedom. And knowing oneself. The main thing is right now, your neck is tense beyond belief, and you don't know it. Your shoulders are tense beyond belief, and you don't know it. And the reason you don't know it is because they're tense prevents you from knowing it. If it's tense, you can't know it. So, it's the knowing. In Buddhism, everything is just this knowing quality. Everything, the whole thing is just this knowing quality instead of a quality of ignorance. So in Alexander, we're going from a quality of ignorance to a quality of knowing, and it's through mindfulness. It's through mindfulness. But ordinary students of Buddhism or anybody else just does not realize, they don't realize the effort required to know. They can't even dream of the work they need to put in to go from tense to not tense, but it's fun, so calling it work is the best job you could ever have. And the most important job. There's no other job. There's no other job. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else of any importance besides this. Going from ignorance to knowing. It's the secret to happiness. And we're here to learn this secret, and why not learn it? So there's a difference between being frozen and being just sort of not frozen. Things are not frozen. Oh, I put my attention on my neck. My attention was to relax my neck a little bit. Just a little bit, maybe. Can't relax it all the way at one fell swoop. If you do it 10 hours a day for 40 years, you can get it relaxed, but you gotta work at it to get it relaxed. Not really, but you have a tendency just to go back in your old pattern. Maybe you get a little relaxed and you go back. That's it. That's it. That's the deal. It's either interesting if you think like a warrior, think like a smart person, think like a person who wants to overcome suffering, wants to get out of whatever you're here for an Alexander lesson for, whatever it is. My wrists are all painful because I'm typing all day like this. What can I do? Well, so, what's your Alexander teacher? There's a million ways to slice this Alexander pie. I was trained by a lot of people who were trained with Marjorie Barstow, and this is the way she did it, and she learned it from Alexander. That's the way he did it, I guess. But everybody kind of came up with all kinds of great ideas, and everybody does it different. But anyway, my Alexander teachers usually, not always, different things, but my main ones, they would just, in a way that was, what you don't want to do is jerk people's necks as an Alexander technique teacher, although there's tons of that going on. They forget what it's all about and they start pushing you around, pulling you around, and it's not the way, but it's very common. But even that is better than not, you can overcome that. At some point you're gonna do it yourself, Won't matter if you get your neck pulled on a little bit in the beginning. But it's just about the good Alexander teachers, they never pull on you. What they do is they do the thing. They work on themselves. And they don't try to change you. They don't try to, they try to help you learn and wake up, but it's a feedback system. If they are doing this and their hands are on you, their hands just naturally communicate what this is, and you get it yourself. It's just because they were doing it themselves and they were getting out of the way, and your body understood through contact or through seeing it done or doing it over and over. Your body knows this, and they're helping you remember it or re-educate yourself or help you get out of your habitual patterns into a free way of being. Lunta, Drala, wind horse, winds and channels. What happens in meditation is this inner work of freeing it, and it's mind, of course. And mind's the most important thing. Mind is the most important thing. But it's body, speech, and mind. If you don't get a little handle on your mind through meditation practice, you have no hope. But if you don't start working on your body, in as subtle a way you're working on your mind, you have no hope also. You may look pretty good in meditation, but you'll be 30, 40 years from now, you will have progressed not very much in your off-the-cushion life. Even though it's the key to happiness, but this is also the key to happiness. This mood cord is the silver key to happiness. And if you don't figure this mood cord out, you're going to leave a lot of happiness on the table. You're going to leave a lot of what should be accomplishing in meditation. Talopa says, do not become a piece of wood. And most people become a piece of wood when they meditate. They're a piece of wood before they became the meditation cushion. They stay frozen. Saraha, in his Royal Song of Saraha, he gives a really beautiful analogy to this. He talks about the true nature being like water. And then what we usually experience is the true nature that is frozen like ice. So our experience is being frozen like ice. It's the same water, but it's just frozen. But we gotta unfreeze it to get to the true nature. So there's a frozen quality. There's a wooden quality to our experience in terms of our body. But it was the mind and the body work together, man. You just don't get this. You don't get Rigpo without getting relaxed in your body. It just doesn't happen. You get a kind of piece of wood on the cushion and nothing happens that much. The Tibetan teachers go, why don't the Westerners get anything, out of this? Well, it's so weird. We never see anything like it, We got to have a conference. But Trump Rinpoche saw it, and he knew what had to be done, and he directed you to do exactly what I'm telling you to do. He himself did not do Alexander technique per se, but everything he did was just exactly demonstrating Alexander technique. Exactly. Everything he talked about was the same thing. Same thing. Same. So, you're just sitting here and you just have a little fun. You know, this is exactly how we're instructed in meditation, so I'm just going to say we're on the meditation cushion. That might be... some people might say this is anti-dharmic. It's not. Tulku Urgyen said, okay, meditate. Every 5 or 10 minutes, just stop meditating because your effort is probably misguided a little bit. Try too hard, let's just stop. So every 5 or 10 minutes, your meditation, just stop. And one thing you can do, I like to do a little of this in my meditation, but it doesn't matter. Do it off the cushion. Don't combine with meditation, however you feel good about it. But I'm just saying it. You can do this on your cushion, and I don't know how else to explain it to you except on the cushion, because you can do it off the cushion, but it's easier to teach it to you if you're on the cushion. Because you don't get this good posture off the cushion. You never get this good posture off the cushion, ever. But you get a kind of a good posture going, and it makes this easier. So you just... That teacher is going to take your head, and she's going to suggest a slight rotation inward. Really what we're all about is lengthening. Alexander says your sense of well-being